Beautiful people, welcome to the Dr. Joy Show, your prescription for total wellness, and I'm your host, Dr. Joy. Yeah, we're talking about transformation and breakthrough today. No, not just me. Of course, I have a guest. But before we get started, you know what we do on the Dr. Joy Show. We take it down with 3 deep breaths. Are you ready? Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Last one. Inhale. Exhale. How do you feel? I know I feel great. Well, let's jump into it. Transformation, breakthroughs, results, and I want to welcome my guest, Lois Kramer-Perez. Yeah, I had to look at your book to make sure that I got your middle name and your last name correct, in the correct order. Welcome to the Dr. Joy Show.
Thank you, Dr. Joy. It's exciting to be here.
Tell me a little bit about yourself.
Well, I have the best life I could even hope to imagine.
Wow.
I feng shui people, places, and things.
Okay. And what does that mean?
So I've learned through my feng shui studies, which was one of my life transformations, that feng shui is all about connecting to who we are in our true nature. And by using the 5 elements in nature, there's no judgment. So the same way there's no crying in baseball, there's no judgment in feng shui.
So feng shui is going to make someone, if they harness and embrace those 5 principles, right?
Yes.
It's going to embrace them or move them towards being authentic?
Absolutely.
Okay, so that means all of y'all need to watch this show, okay? Because there's so many unauthentic or non-authentic people out there, right?
Right.
So tell me how you transitioned, because I read your book, but I don't want to give away the secret. This is her book. Hello. But how did you go from the perfect sweater, Miss Fashion Guru, to this transition to being a feng shui practitioner?
Well, I was obsessed with finding that perfect sweater.
What is that?
The perfect sweater was working with design, developing the product, finding the yarn.
Okay.
All that stuff.
Okay.
Making it fit. It was such a process of creativity from beginning to end.
Okay.
And I loved what I did, but I knew there was something more. I just knew there was something more. Mm-hmm. And I didn't even realize the seed I planted when I said to my husband one day, you know, when I hit 50, I want to do something different. I don't know what it is, but just because I love to do it. I love what I do now, but it's okay. I'm done. I just want to find that something.
So you were in a content state, but yet you wanted to get out of your own head?
Yes.
Oh, all right.
Because let me tell you, there was a lot going on in that head.
Yes.
And I couldn't even go to the movies
What do you mean?
Sitting down and thinking like, oh, maybe I have to get up and make a phone call, or I can't watch this. My head was always spinning.
Okay, so you had a relaxation problem.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
I only had one speed, on.
On? So you were at 100 all the time?
All the time.
Okay, so how did you transition to being a feng shui practitioner now?
Well, through some life challenges and experiences, I was looking for some healing. Mm-hmm. And I knew there had to be something. So I first found me a Reiki practitioner, which was the beginning of my journey. And then when I transitioned into the feng shui, everything started to change. I could see how my life was changing based on my perception about myself, my ability to notice what was going on around me. And the turning point actually came when I started to kind of daydream. I could do this full time. Wouldn't it be fabulous? Teaching, working with people. How cool is this? Mm-hmm. Well, the universe said, I'll show you how cool it is.
Now, before we go into thoughts, feelings, actions, just pause for a second. I want you to back up and talk about what is feng shui, again, what is that one thing, and then a little bit about the history.
Sure.
So in case the viewers don't know.
Absolutely. Good question. So most people think feng shui is where we put our sofa.
Yeah.
And that's an important part of it, but it's so much more. Feng shui translates to wind, water. The wind represents the energy that's in our space that we can feel, even though we can't see it, we know it's there. Mm-hmm. Electricity, using our phones. Mm-hmm. The energy we feel walking into a room when is someone looking at us, or I could feel it's chilly in here.
Right, right.
And the water represents the physical things in our space which cause our movement and how the chi or energy will flow.
So wind and water.
Wind and water. So we want the energy we can't see to be balanced in a way that fits with the energy we can see.
Okay.
In our physical space.
Tangible, intangible.
Correct.
Okay. Yin yang.
Yin yang.
Okay.
And Feng Shui began many years ago form-based. That's one of our schools of Feng Shui. People in China would look to how they would site their homes so they would be safe from the elements, have a clear view of what's happening, have the crops get the sun, and be supported from behind. So it all began with siting the homes and how that created a flow of chi, of prosperity and abundance for what they need in their life. Yes.
So that's great energy.
Yes.
So how does one fit Feng Shui into their daily life to enhance their life?
So Feng Shui is our first stop to connect to our subconscious. We're always giving messages to all these parts of us inside. And if we look at the experience we have the first time we come into our home,
right,
how things are placed, how we move around the space, how do we feel? That's the magic of Feng Shui. By choosing the information we want to create the patterns we choose, we can do it through color, through objects, through positioning.
Okay. Okay, but now I want to touch on something that you said a few minutes ago about our thoughts and our feelings and our actions and what happens in the universe. So, and how we need to be more conscious?
Conscious, absolutely.
Okay, so talk about that. Tell me a little bit more about that.
So we've all heard, be careful what you wish for, you might get it.
Yes, yes.
And I like to say, be mindful and conscious of what you choose to wish for, because you will get it.
Wait, say that one more time.
Be mindful and conscious of your choices, what you choose to wish for.
Whether it's aloud or in head.
Correct.
Okay, because the universe picks up everything.
Everything.
Because the cosmos, well, there's the higher being, right?
Yes.
Different cultures worship different higher beings, but then there's the cosmos, and yeah, so they will tap into your mind whether you say it or you don't. It's spoken or not.
Right. And it's all about that feeling you have with those thoughts, the feelings and the experience connected to them. So I was having these dreams of leaving my job, of my traditional going to work,
Corporate.
getting a paycheck, corporate thing,
Right.
to working with people I could teach and talk and work in their homes. How cool would that be? How cool would that be? Well, all of a sudden, my job changed. The president of our group went to another brand and said, where's the Lois in this group? Oh, no, I want her. So they created a job. And I became a consultant, so to speak.
Oh.
So now all of my responsibilities that I was accountable for are shifting.
Okay.
And there I am on this trip with the design team. And we had just been in Korea. We hit Shanghai. I get to the hotel. I can't find my passport. Well, I know I had it when I went through customs. So I said to the concierge, I think I dropped it by customs. Call them. Here's my information. Good things happen to people. I'm going out to dinner. I'll be back in a little while, and I know you're going to find it. Mm-hmm. Well, that was a challenging evening, to say the least.
I can imagine.
But
yes.
I just kept breathing, and I said, there's no other outcome I will accept, because this is what they're going to find it.
So you put it into the universe that your passport was going to be found.
Absolutely.
But really knowing in reality, that's like trying to find a needle in a haystack,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
Okay. All right.
But I refuse to have any other outcome be in my essence at the moment. Yeah, it was challenging. I kept breathing, and people look, what are you going to do? I'm not giving in to anybody's chaos. I'm not giving in to any...
Right, because it's around us.
I'm just going to stay with me. I can see the information that's out there, but I don't have to become it. And when I got back to the hotel, and the concierge had that big grin on his face, and he said, good news, we found your passport. Well, then the tears went.
Of course.
And I knew what I had to do.
Well, you knew that right there that was a connection. I mean, it was relevant.
Yes.
That was a connection between your thoughts and the universe and it happening.
Yes. And that time I knew if I could do this, I could do anything. So there was no doubt in my mind what was the next step. Resign.
Oh, and you did just like that?
Yeah.
Okay, and this is before you became the Feng Shui practitioner.
No, I had already been studying, but
Okay.
working full time.
All right, so now let's talk about those 5 Feng Shui principles. What are those?
So we have 5 elements.
Right.
And they each have a direction. Mm-hmm. They are a family member archetype, an expression, a part of our body, a time of day, a season, and they all connect to everything.
Okay.
It's who we are and it's the world we live in.
Okay.
So if we look at water, water is winter and midnight. It's this beautiful time of dreaming and planning and thinking, and watery people kind of get lost in their dreams. They like to stay up late. They don't like to rush. They don't want to be fenced in. They like to go with the flow. Mm-hmm. Well, water feeds the trees so they can grow.
Okay.
And after winter and midnight, we have...
So water is first.
Water is first.
Okay, what's the second one?
Trees.
Trees. Okay.
Because the trees are early spring and early morning. So after winter comes the spring. After midnight comes the morning. That's early uprising energy. It's green. It's all about ideas and movement and going. It's practical. It's go, 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 go.
Okay.
Okay, it's bright. Then after the trees and the early morning comes
Right.
noon and summer. After spring comes summer.
Right.
Fire. Fire is our passion.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
excitement. It's our curiosity. What drives us. Inspiration, illumination. Okay? And fire is red and fun, and people just need that inspiration. We need our fire. When our fires go out,
Well, then there's a problem. Then we fall into what's called, we could fall into a depression.
Right.
Yeah, I said the D word, but it's real.
it's real. So when our fires go out, we want to look to the things that will bring it back up.
Right.
We want to get curious. If we get curious, then we become engaged. And fire likes fun, so find something fun. Find your best friend. Find Dr. Joy and go have some fun.
Woo-hoo-hoo.
Because Dr. Joy's got the fire.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. So the 5 are
Water,
trees,
fire, earth.
earth.
The ashes from the fire nourish the earth, and
Okay.
it's a time of pause. It's our grounding and stability and comfort.
Okay.
It's being secure, the ground we stand on.
What about does gratitude come into it? Being reflective?
Gratitude is everywhere.
Yeah.
Gratitude is everywhere.
Okay, good.
So the gratitude we have, someone that has a lot of earth, they are of service. They are so grateful to help others, to stand up for what they believe in, to stand up for the underdog, to know what's right and really be there. That's the foundation of the mountain.
Okay.
That's unlimited potential. So now the ashes from the earth, they come to the earth minerals create the metal.
Okay.
And metal is now this contracting energy.
Is that the 5th one?
It's the 5th one.
Okay.
We're coming into refinement. Everything's coming to completion. It's coming to a close. Autumn.
Oh.
It's that early evening.
So you have your seasons weaved in there
and
too.
the seasons come in, and that feeling. So metal people are meticulous. They like to be perfect. And when they get too serious, what do they need? They need some fire.
Yeah.
Fire can gently soften the metal so it becomes more flexible.
That's true.
So when we get too hard on ourselves, we have to look for that illumination, for that passion to help us enjoy life. And then the metal becomes liquid, and after autumn becomes winter. After evening becomes midnight, and we begin again.
So it's a way of thinking.
Yes.
So one has to do a little bit of paradigm shift to go from, say, the unconscious thinking, being in a rut all the time. That's when they don't have that fire or that passion, to move towards the conscious.
Yes.
To be get more earthy and have the
Yes.
metal element. So our thoughts translate to our feelings translate to our actions, and our actions give us those results, right?
Absolutely.
So your top 2 things on what a person can do to make sure that their actions will yield positive results. Top 2.
Top 2. Okay. So you want to think about something that is in every cell, with every beat of your heart, that you love passionately, that you know is right for you. And then do something. Because if we don't do something, nothing will happen. We can dream and sit back and kind of float along, but we have to engage. engage in how it feels, get into that experience as it's happening, as if it's happening. Have those dreams, engage, start being available and noticing what shows up so you can then participate.
What about negative talk?
Well, negative talk,
You get all this negative talk. You want to quit your job. You want to resign because you see that you're going to be bigger and better towards towards mankind, and you share that with someone, and now you get this negative talk. You shouldn't do it. Internal negative talk. So it's in your internal dialogue where you're in your head, and also external. How do you?
So the first thing you want to do is notice that someone else's reaction or response to you has nothing to do with you. It's all about them. Don't take it personally.
Ooh, Don Miguel Ruiz. Very
Yes.
good. 4 agreements.
Four agreements. Go back to the 4
love
agreements.
It.
Don't take it personally, because that person is only responding based on their experience and what they know.
Right.
And that would scare the pants off of them to think, oh my gosh, I could never do that. So they could not even imagine how you could do it.
Right.
So don't get caught in their
Right.
experience.
Right. Okay.
And then when you have that negative self-talk, notice where you feel it in your body. And notice, where is that coming from? If you notice all the things you've ever done that were fabulous, where did they come from? They came from inside.
Yeah, inside.
And there wasn't another thought. You just did it. So who is standing in your way creating these thoughts? So
The individual.
So if we've
Right?
ever had a thought that was connected to a feeling, whenever we go back into that thought, that experience, the body says, oh, here are those emotions that are connected, and they send them up. But we can say, wait a minute, I'm changing that pattern. This is not how it has to be any
I'm
longer.
going to block those. I'm going to block that negative self-talk.
I'm just going to release it. I'm going to shift into a different thought. So as I breathe in, very important, your 3 deep breaths.
Yeah.
Breathing in and releasing out that thought and changing it to the one that suits you, that serves you, the feeling of that power. Connect to that 3rd chakra right here and feel that golden sunshine filling you up. I got this. I can notice everything.
But don't you think, though, Lois, that, watch your bells, because I definitely don't want you to drop those because you're going to ring them later. Don't you think, though, that the biggest thing that stops most people is the fact that they don't feel comfortable in their own skin?
Absolutely.
So what's the secret?
The secret is, I learned from Feng Shui, I'm not a bedroom set kind of girl.
Ooh, what does that mean? I saw that in your book, girl, but I said, what is that? What do you mean by you're not a bedroom set kind of girl?
I thought when you got married, you became an adult, you
Oh, yeah.
bought a bedroom set.
Yeah.
Set up a household.
Yep,
Well,
yep.
I was married 19 years, never had a bedroom set. Couldn't find one I liked, so I didn't have one. I had a bed, I had a stool, I had a thing and a bing and a bang.
And it worked for you.
But I felt like it wasn't complete. But I thought I had to find that bedroom set. And then when I studied Feng Shui and I understood who I was, what my nature was, I don't need a bedroom set. I went out and bought a bed. And a year later, I bought 2 end tables. And a year later, I bought a dresser. And I love it. And it was my way. Every time I get stuck thinking I have to either know how to do it or know what it means or have this perception of what that perfection
That thing is, right.
I get stuck, but then I say, wait a minute, I'm not a bedroom set kind of girl. So why don't I just do this?
So you're going to go with the flow.
Yeah.
So that's what you say. Be comfortable in your own skin. Go with the flow. Not pay attention.
Right.
Unless it's something dangerous, right?
Yes, we have to be safe.
Right. So I have a statement, okay? On average, many folks embrace and embody their authenticity. What do you think? Yes, no?
I think more do than they realize. They just don't let it out.
And why is that?
Fear of the unknown. So
That's
fear can
4-letter
stop us in our
word.
tracks. False evidence appearing real, right?
Yes, yes.
It's just a perception. It's just a thought. If we give the power to that thought, but if we start to change our thoughts by embodying what fills us up, what fills our power, what we love, and we don't focus on what we're not, we don't focus on what's broken, nothing's broken. Focus on your strengths, on your power, what you love, what's easy. then all the other stuff there's no attention to, and you just keep rising. So we don't change, we just evolve to become more of who we really are.
What is your greatest gift and how did you determine it?
My greatest gift was realizing it's that simple. Because when the Feng Shui moment happened, that I realized I wasn't a bedroom set kind of girl, I reflected back to everything I've ever done. I don't even know how I got there. It was just being engaged in what I loved doing. And I find if I stay focused on that feeling that's true to my heart, everything is possible.
Ooh. So focus is key, right? Being comfortable in your own skin.
Yes.
And that leads into being the driver of
your destiny.
So share practical advice on how one can do that. How do they get started?
I would say let's take a tip from Feng Shui.
You're going to ring your bells? I want to ring.
Let's ring the bells. So we're going to ring the bells.
Ding.
Take a tip from how fabulous. Ooh, what a little Feng Shui can do for you.
You go, girl.
So my favorite Feng Shui tip is create your fabulous first.
Okay.
The first thing you see when you wake up in the morning. That first experience coming into your home. Whatever that first thing is, you mindfully choose what fills you up with joy and peace and love. So now we're setting those layers in our subconscious because the mind doesn't know the difference between a memory and what's happening.
Right.
So set up your fabulous first. Then you're going to notice. You're going to notice what's happening around you. And notice that you have that ability to shift your thoughts and feelings from old patterns to new. We don't want to push anything down and deny it. We want to relate to it.
Right.
And as we breathe, we can then release and redirect to something that supports us. So now that we're noticing, our awareness is key, and we just go for it. We just go for it. And
with fire behind us.
With the fire behind us and the smiles and the laughter.
Okay.
Don't take ourselves too seriously.
Or else we're going to need to get grounded again.
Yes.
Yeah. And then we reflect and then we have to, there's gratitude there, but we need to really pay attention to it on a daily basis because those key learnings, those things that go wrong or whatever, they can be positive things because they're key learnings that are going to help us move forward.
Every experience is important.
Yes.
It's
every one. Yes.
Every single one. And it's our relationship to that experience that is key. It's how we do everything. So 90% of what happens to us is really about that experience.
Yes.
Don't get lost and distracted by the 10% of things we can't control.
Right.
So that third tip is really to open up and embrace and engage. Engage those things to be a participant. Because if we don't do something, nothing's going to happen.
So that means we shouldn't dwell on whatever the experience is, embrace it.
Yes.
If it's not such a positive experience, I mean, we're human, right?
We're human, absolutely.
We're going to feel a little bad about it. But I mean, me personally, I give myself maybe 24 hours max to sulk. After that, it's like, okay, get over it, Joy. Get over it. Move on.
Yes.
Because or else we'll get stuck.
Right. We have to experience everything and be able to embrace that so we can move on to the next.
Right.
So it's that ability to redirect.
Okay.
And if you think you can't redirect, I've got a 30-second vacation for you.
What's a 30-second vacation?
So I found by taking 2 deep breaths and guiding people in 30 seconds, whether we're on the beach or by a stream or in the rain or just looking out the window at a beautiful flower.
Do it. You want to guide us?
Yes.
You have time.
We have time?
Yeah, you have time to do 30 seconds.
Okay, 30 seconds.
Go for it.
Take a 30-second vacation with Lois. Take a deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. And just feel this beautiful sunny day. We're on the beach and the waves are moving into the shore and out to the sea. And with that next breath, just allow your thoughts to transform as you release and come back to your place of peace. It's a beautiful day.
Love it. Love it. Now, before we wrap up, you have stones here. Can you share with me what those stones represent?
Yes. So
They're beautiful.
I love a little feng shui
I
magic.
want some.
So feng shui gives us ways that we can manifest things. And what better by looking at pairs of hearts? So these beautiful sodalite hearts get us out of our head and into our hearts. The carnelian ground us, bringing strength and focus. And those beautiful gold stone, focus and power, baby. So find the stone that you're attracted to and just go with that and look at that magic that you can do. It's a beautiful day.
See, I'm in between. I'm in between the focus and the power, and I'm in between the one about in your head. But I think I've moved off of being in my head, because if I didn't, then I wouldn't be where I am.
Absolutely.
Right? Okay. So I'm gonna go with this blue stone right
And
here.
you like the sparkle
I
because
love
it suits you.
I love the sparkle. Yeah. So what do you have there? You have the stones, and then you also have instructions, right?
I have instructions of what you're going to do with the stones. I have a red envelope in the little gold bag.
Okay.
You're going to write some things down.
Ooh.
And I've given you instructions how. And then you're going to take one, put it in one place, the other in another, and magic will happen.
Okay. And then I just leave it there.
Yes. And then when you're ready to do it again, you'll know. You start all over. So this
I have to remember where I put the first one, right?
you'll know
Okay.
because it's very specific
Okay.
where I tell you to put them.
Okay, so I'm going to follow instructions. Lois, I love the fact that you're giving me a homework assignment. I love it. So before we go, though, where can people find your breakthrough results, tips and tricks, and techniques from today's experts for you and your business, Lois Kramer-Perez? Where can we
You
get
can
this?
find that on Amazon.
Okay.
But you can also go to my website for
Okay.
everything. LoisKramer-Perez.com.
Wonderful. Wonderful. I want to thank you for being a guest on the Dr. Joy Show, sharing your advice, your tips, feng shui knowledge, and how also letting people know that, you know what, it's just not about placing your couch in a certain corner of your house, but feng shui is also how you think.
Absolutely.
So thank you very much.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Sure. Until next time, be blessed, stay healthy. See ya.